Hello and welcome to Twice Shy. So, this episode is about people pleasing and lowering your standards. Your standards are high. Your standards are high for a reason, and they are high because you worked hard to get them at a certain level. So for you to now go and lower your standards for people or for places or activities, well, that's just demeaning, that's lowering yourself, and you're better than that. Do not lower your standards for people, because the minute they raise their standards and raise their way of thinking, they'll look at you and they'll see you at a lower standard, a certain level that's beneath them, and they will leave you behind. Yes, even if your standards are higher than theirs, they will still think yours are low because you dropped them in the first place to be around these people. People take the liberty. People like to use other people to get from where they are to where they need to be. And some people may not do this on purpose. They might just do it because it's part of life. It's part of the food chain. It's a dog-eat-dog world. In order to better yourself and become something, and there's always a sacrifice that needs to be made, whether it's a sacrifice of the person using someone to gain knowledge, energy, or just like gratification. They'll use them to get to where they need to be. And it's part of life. Humans do this on a daily basis. It's like feeding yourself. It's like fuel for the body. You need to consume something to push yourself to move further in life. And it's sad, it happens all the time. So the reason why I mentioned at the beginning of this podcast to not lower your standards for people is because, imagine this, your standards are high, you are a high esteemed person, high value woman, and you are at a certain level that other people can't reach. You will then attract things at that level. If your standards remain high, your energy levels are higher, and the bigger your vibration is, you will 100% attract things at your vibrational level. So the minute you lower your standards just to be around certain people or please people, probably make them feel less uncomfortable or do things that you don't want to do, such as going to places that you don't feel comfortable going to, just being in a certain environment, your standards drop, your value drops, and so does your vibrational levels. They drop as well. It's so important to remember that everything we do has a consequence. So every action has a consequence. Every energy exchange, every interaction is an energy exchange. So you may not feel it at the time, but if you lower your standards and start exchanging energies with something that's at a lower standard, that will decrease your energy levels. It will decrease your vibrational value, and that will decline and result in you vibing at a lower level than you should be vibing at. Probably wondering how people would use you. If you vibe high and you have high energy and you admit high energy and you have high values, how would you get caught? Like, how would you get tricked into lowering your vibration? Well, it's easy. It happens all the time. People may persuade you to be somewhere, and you, being a people pleaser, may feel guilt tripped into going to that place or just being around certain people. You may want to make someone feel comfortable, someone happy, and actually spend time with them. That person may actually give you a lot more attention than other people do at the time, and you might like that and may want to be around them more. However, you don't need to do that. You're better than that. Imagine you lower your standards for someone, and a few months later they decide to raise their standards, and then look at you and think, oh, nah, I don't want to be around her. Her standards are low. How would that make you feel? Because you're not even on their level. Even if they raise their standards and think that your standards are lower than theirs, your standards are still higher. It's just that you lowered it for them. It's not nice being around someone that wants to use you. Not nice being around people that make you lower your standards, and then when they have a change of heart, they just suddenly move on to the next person. That's not right. Keep your standards high, and you will attract people with high standards. You're better than being around people with low standards and low self-esteem. This now brings me on to the next section. The next point that I wanted to talk about was people pleasing. Are you a people pleaser? Do you always try to make people feel good about themselves? Because that's a tendency that a people pleaser would do. And trust me, believe me, when I say I'm a recovering people pleaser, I've been there, wrote the book, everything. And I still struggle on a daily basis. Yes, it's so easy to revert back to old habits and want to help people and make them feel good about themselves. But what will it do for you? What is it going to do? Seriously, think about it. If you go and people please and you make people feel good about themselves, remember, everything is an energy exchange. Every single interaction that you have with anything is an energy exchange. By you building someone else's self-esteem and making them feel good, they are just taking your energy. They're draining you of your energy. You may not feel it at first, and it may happen gradually, but after a while, you will feel it. Trust me. You'll be lowering your standards for them, and you will be helping them get from where they are to where they need to be. And there's no need for that. What about you? Have you forgotten you need to get to where you need to be? A lot of us forget that we are on our own journeys. Everyone has their own path, their own journeys. Everyone was born alone. Even if there were twins in a womb, they shared a womb with someone. When their mother gave birth to them, they still enter the world on their own. So for you to now go and help someone with their life journey, their life path, why? Why would you do that? Why would you put your life on hold to help someone else? Time is ticking. Time doesn't wait for anyone. Time goes so quick. And I feel that the older I get, the faster time is going. You need to work on yourself. You need to remind yourself that you are on your journey. There's still so much to do and to achieve. Yes, you may have achieved a lot of things that you wanted to achieve, but there's still room for growth. There's still room for more things to achieve. There's a lot to do. You can't be there for everyone, especially if you have kids. If you have your own children, your children come before everyone else. But remember, you need to put yourself first at all times. Your cup needs to be full for you to pour out and help others. And when I say others, I'm talking about your children. That's if you have. If you don't have children, your cup needs to be full first before you do anything. There was a time in my life, I actually can't believe I'm sharing this online, but there was a time in my life where I felt like I was on this earth. Yeah, I was here to help people, and I used to put other people before me. I put everyone before me. I used to build up their self-esteem, used to make them feel good about each other, give them advice, help them in all areas of life, all aspects. And what did that do for me? Nothing. Just drained my energy. It didn't do any good. I was sacrificing my time, my energy, and my goodwill to help people. And where are these people now? Who knows? But that's not the point. The point I'm making is by me spending time people pleasing, going around building up other people's self-esteem, giving them advice, giving them my time, my precious time, I turned my back on myself. I had so much goals, so much achievements that I wanted to do at the time. And I remember at the time thinking, what's stopping me from achieving this? So let me give you a bit of background context. I used to work full-time and I had a part-time job on the weekends. So essentially, I was working 6 days a week. Sunday was the day that should have been for me. And evenings on weekdays, that should have been my time. Instead, any spare time I had, I'd pick up my phone, answer this call someone, reply back to messages on WhatsApp, reply back to people on social media, just to help them. They'd come to me, oh, Mel, I've got a problem, this and this. And then after a while, I thought, yes, actually, I found my life purpose. My life purpose is to be an agony aunt and help others. So I thought, yeah, let me just do this. How stupid was I? An agony aunt for free? For years? Do you know how many years this went on? This went on for many years, and I was doing this for free, giving advice for free, help, support, whatever. I'd give support at 2 a.m. Someone would message me or call me. Oh, I need help, I need this, Yes, I was there for this person. I'd be at a party on the weekend, see a message on my phone, early hours of the morning. Oh, I need you, I need some help, I need this. I'd call them straight away. During the party, I'm there having a big discussion with someone, trying to stop them from crying, helping them, give them advice. How is that healthy? I should have been at that party, enjoying myself, ignoring any messages and phone calls. Why? Because that was my time. Yes, I was socialising with other people. And so what? That was my life. That's what I wanted to do at the time. Instead, I'm there on the phone, being antisocial in the next room, talking to someone, trying to help them. That could have waited. But the point I'm trying to make is that I did not get anything done. All my achievements, all my goals, I barely did them. Yes, I'd go to work. So I'd work my 9 to 5 on the weekdays and got my job done. Simple. And then weekends, I'd work my weekend job. I also had a blog at the same time. I was running a blog. This was my own blog. It wasn't work related. In my head, I dedicated 2 days a week to doing that blog, to posting it online. Did that always happen? No, because once again, I'd be typing away on my laptop, my phone beside me. And next thing you know, oh yeah, someone needs help, someone needs advice. And it wasn't no quick 15-minute conversation, no. I'd be on the phone for hours just talking and helping them. And it was always the same people with the recurring situations. And no matter how much advice I gave them, it's like it fell on deaf ears because they'd come back crying on the phone again with the same problems, the same issues over and over and over again. And honestly, I was such a people pleaser, I didn't mind. Even though I told this person or these people what to do, gave them advice, helped them, tried to build their self-esteem, they'll still come back with the same problems. And because I was a people pleaser, I didn't mind building their self-esteem again. However, what was it doing for me? It was draining my energy and wasting my time. Because by the time the conversations ended, it was time for me to go to sleep because I had work the next day. I didn't do my blog. I didn't type up my blog. I wasn't consistent with that. I didn't spend time to myself doing things I needed to do. Yeah, so it was just such a waste of time. And most times I felt drained. Once again, me pouring into others made me drained. It took my energy, took my time, took everything out of me. My cup was less than half full and I still went and helped people. And I thought it was the thing to do. I thought it was what I was supposed to do. Until one day, things changed. Things changed a lot because I became a mum. And I noticed when I was pregnant with my child, me taking time out of my schedule to help people with their dilemmas, their recurring problems, it became a huge issue to me. Why? Because my energy was already low due to pregnancy and my time was limited because I had loads to sort out for the baby. And that's when I started to notice how selfish people were. It's not as if they'd come and message me and say, oh, how is the pregnancy going? How's the baby? None of that. They'll just come and talk about their problems. Then I noticed the recurring pattern. The same people that would come with their issues and expect me to resolve their issues for them, they did not even ask how I was. They did not say hi sometimes. And to be honest, the worst thing is, I think this was happening the whole time. I think before I became pregnant, I think they would just come and dive into their situation, talk about their problems and not check in with me, not check how I am, not check anything. But I didn't notice at the time. So only when I became pregnant, that's when I noticed, because I'd noticed how quickly I get drained. I'd noticed how my precious time was ticking away when I had stuff to do to prepare for the baby. Then I'd noticed that on the days where I wasn't feeling so great, where I was really tired or feeling nauseous, they did not seem to care. And I used to think, why? Why don't they care? Then I realised it's because they don't know, because they did not ask. All they did was dive into their problems. I want to talk about their problems over and over and over again on the phone for over an hour straight. Sometimes 2 hours I'd be on the phone. I had to stop that. And me being a people pleaser, yes, I felt very uncomfortable, but I had to stop it. It wasn't healthy. It wasn't healthy for me. Wasn't healthy for my pregnancy. Before becoming a mum, before being pregnant, going to bed late, going to bed early hours of the morning, having limited sleep to get up early for work and going to work the next day sleep deprived, that was not an issue before. However, when I was pregnant, I could not stay up past 8 p.m. every single night. I used to go to bed and be asleep by 8 p.m. because in the morning, I used to have to be up by 5 or 5:30 to get ready for work and go to work. My time was limited when I was pregnant. So what did I do? I told them. I was like, this is too much for me to deal with. And I just spoke about the pregnancy. I just spoke about how tired I was, or just in general that this was too much. It was too much stress. And I was quite naive at the time. I thought they would actually care. I thought they'd apologize because it was them that was causing this. It was them stressing me with their situations that I did not need to hear about, drama that wasn't even my drama, yet I was involving myself because I was being a people pleaser. However, to my surprise, the conversation ended, yes, which was great, but it's not as if they actually checked in with me and said, oh, are you okay? How's the pregnancy going? I'm sorry for stressing you out. None of that. And that made me see how selfish people really are, how people use people. And if they really cared about me, that would not have happened. That conversation would not have had to happen. I would not have been stressed. I expected them to check in with me after that. And I was really naive. I really thought in the upcoming months and weeks of me giving birth, even after birth, they'd check in, see if I was okay. No, none of that. None of that happened. The minute I set that boundary with them, the minute I told them that they can't use my energy, they can't take my time, and they can't drain me anymore. The minute I cut that off, the minute I set more boundaries, the minute I set the boundary of them not being able to basically use me as an agony aunt for free, that made certain people disappear. It just made me see they didn't actually care about me in the first place. They cared about what I could do for them, which is highly selfish. By me doing something that I didn't have to do and didn't really want to do, I was just doing it to help them, to please them, made me lower my standards, which in turn lowered my vibrational levels, which made me tired and drained. When I took my energy and took my time, they were so happy. They were thriving in life. They were happy, they were satisfied. The minute I took that away from them and they couldn't get anything out of me for free, they were gone. They were literally ghosts. And it just made me see that people are in it for themselves. They literally don't care about people, which is so sad. That's the saddest bit. But life goes on. This, by the way, this scenario that I spoke about was probably about 10 years ago. I've learned a lot in 10 years. In the past 10 years, I've learned a lot and I've grown as a person. And that would never happen to me now. Even though people still try to take my energy, no. People-pleasing tendencies do tend to come back into my mind from time to time. But I quickly remind myself, no, I'm not that person anymore. I'm not a people-pleaser. I've got to put myself first. A lot of people do get the wrong end of the stick. The minute you set boundaries with them, the minute you're not available for people is the minute people say, oh, so-and-so is selfish. No, I find it quite healthy to put yourself first. I find it healthy to actually look out for yourself instead of going here, going there, trying to help everyone build up themselves. Because as I mentioned before, you're on your life journey, you're on your own life path. There's no one that's going to help you get from A to B. There's no one that's going to help you get from where you are to where you need to be. You need to help yourself. You are literally the only person that can help yourself. If people come and want to dump the weight of their world onto you, especially without checking in on you first, tell them to get a therapist. Tell them to go speak to a professional that's getting paid to do that job. You as a friend, as a person, as a family member, you are not getting paid to take on somebody else's problems, take it on and give them advice. Your time is free. Your time is priceless and it's precious. So why would you allow someone to come and take up your time with their own problems that they can resolve with themselves, if they journaled, if they actually spoke things through with a professional, something that they can sort out themselves? Why would you take that on for free? It makes no sense. People always want to come with their issues, with their problems, without checking in. They don't check in on you. They do not care. All they care about is themselves. And you've got to remind yourself that that's not on. That's not happening. It's 2025. Why are we still taking on someone else's problems as our own? We have enough problems in our own lives. Everyone's going through problems. That's the thing. So for you to take on someone else's problems and baggage and add it onto yourself, that's not fair on you. You're not putting yourself first. And that is 100% lowering your vibrational levels. And what happens when you lower your standards and vibrational levels? Well, you start attracting things at the lower vibrational levels instead of the higher vibrations. You don't want that for yourself. I thought you wanted to move on. I thought you wanted to live a good life, live the life that you dream about, the life that you created in your journal or vision board, or even if you haven't done these things, the life that you want to live. I thought you wanted to do that. So why are you taking on other people's problems? It just makes no sense, honestly. A lot of people feel comfortable enough to come to you with their issues without checking in on you. That's another thing I've had to stop. Selfish conversations. And when I say selfish, I'm talking about a self-centered person. So it takes two people to have a conversation. You'll not have a conversation with yourself, no. It takes two people. Whether you're texting each other or it's a face-to-face conversation or telephone conversation, you need to exchange words with people. Actually, no, I said it takes two people. It takes minimum two people to have a conversation, but there could be three people in convo or four or more. But yeah, the point I'm trying to make is if you're having a conversation with someone where the conversation is all about them, whether it's good or bad, doesn't matter. They don't even ask how you're doing. They don't even ask about anything in your life. They don't ask nothing. All they do is talk about themselves. And you're sitting there and you can't get a word in about yourself, because even if you was to say something, you'll get dismissed. No, that's something that we're leaving behind in 2024. We're not taking that into 2025. Why? Because it's rude. It's actually plain disrespectful. It's disgusting as well. To be honest, I'm at this stage in my life where I literally do not care about anyone that doesn't care about me. And it's not tit for tat, because this person don't care about me, I don't care. No, there's none of that. It's just that if I'm talking to someone, it's a two-way thing. I'm not going to sit there and listen to you and listen to you and listen to you. I want to talk about stuff. I want to mention stuff, whether it's ideas, whether it's something that's happened in my life, or just in general, my opinion. I'm not going to sit there and listen to you talk about yourself so selfishly and you can't even check in with me. Yeah, no. Even if you have a conversation and they say, I hope you're okay, and then they keep talking about themselves. No, that's rude. And I'm not talking about people that say, how are you? Or they start conversations saying, I hope you're well, how's things? And then they keep talking. Even with that, still, that is kind of selfish, because they're not really asking how you are. They're just adding that sentence into the conversation to make it seem like they're showing an interest in you. But the minute you answer that question, say, actually, I'm not good today. Or actually, I'm feeling this way. Your feelings will get dismissed. And to have your feelings dismissed, your opinions dismissed, that's just pure disrespect. I currently don't have any friends that do that to me. I used to. And guess where they are now? They're not on my friends list no more. Their numbers have been deleted from my phone. I don't need to talk to them. They don't need to talk to me. They're not blocked. However, if they really cared about me, I would have heard from them. And it just shows that they don't care. Their number's not in my phone no more. So there's no need for me to contact them. However, as I was saying, when I did have friends that used to talk about themselves non-stop without even checking in on me, checking how I was feeling, or even validating my feelings as a person, as a human being, it left me feeling drained. The whole conversation left me feeling worse than how I was feeling before I spoke to them. And that's something that we're not taking into 2025. A lot of people on social media are promoting self-care. A lot of people saying, self-care is not selfish. Well, do you know the definition and actual meaning of being selfish? According to Google, selfish is lacking consideration for other people or concerned with one's own personal profit or pleasure. So in other words, it's where you do something without considering others and you do something to benefit yourself. And in my opinion, self-care is selfish. And I'm not talking about this in a negative way. I'm talking about in a positive way. Self-care is showing yourself time. It's showing yourself appreciation. It's showing yourself love. It's caring for yourself, your own personal needs. By giving yourself self-care, you're not going to consider other people. Imagine self-care as a floating bubble, and you enter this floating bubble and it's self-care. It's orientated around you. It's a big circle, huge circle surrounding you and you only. You're not going to involve other people. People aren't going to walk into that bubble because it's your bubble. It's self-care, hence the word self, yourself. Self-care can come in many forms. And in this particular scenario, eliminating people that only selfishly talk about themselves, that only care about themselves and want your time, your energy to boost themselves and make themselves better and feel good about themselves in life, eliminating them from your life and from your bubble, your self-care bubble, is self-care. You don't need that. You need healthy relationships. You need healthy conversations. People that actually care about you, people that actually want to hear about you and hear from you. People that want to help you with problems, whether you have problems or dilemmas or situations or you just want to discuss something. It's a two-way thing. Do not lower your standards for those type of people. The new year is coming. Your standards need to be high and as high as possible. You need to raise your standards every single day. That way, you will start attracting a certain quality of people. Try to get into the habit of holding yourself up high, having high self-esteem, and seeing yourself as a valuable person. Your time is precious. Your energy is expensive. You should not be wasting it on anyone or anything that doesn't serve you, that doesn't care about you, and it requires you to lower your standards. Because remember, if you stay up there, if your standards remain high, you will start attracting all the things that you want to attract. The minute you lower it, certain people will leave. You will end up having low vibrational levels and you will attract lower things and live a lower quality of life. And we don't want that. Fresh year, new year, let's do everything we can to live our best life.